wrapping up with Dark Laser, and I was talking about you can build an all mid-zone, all the time deck with Assassination Attempt and Hurricane Upper. Stack up that momentum real quick, and then play a focus charge and try to one-shot your opponent to death. Could be an interesting angle of attack, although you would run into Templars really badly. Um, could do some pretty sweet stuff though. Uh, so yeah, that's the last of our spoilers for tonight. And do you have anything else? Any last thoughts on Dark Laser?
No, that really wraps it up. We were talking about how you can get it up to powerful 5. You can get speed bonuses. I think it's going to be an incredible card. I think a lot of people are going to run it, one or two of in their decks. And if you're playing against someone on those symbols, you better be prepared.
Yeah, that's powerful 4 is a keyword to respect because you're going to get one shot by it if you put your shields down. And then my favorite thing about the powerful keyword is just that, well, what do you do about all of their other attacks leading up to the powerful 4? Because if they just keep poking you and slapping you, and you're saying, well, what if he follows up with a dark laser and speed pumps it to death? You're going to have to hold on to those blocks. You're going to have to hold on to those resources you could be using to block. And now you have a really interesting game going on.
Yeah, anytime where you can put your opponent in a position where, they have to try to decide when to block, I think makes for really interesting UFS gameplay.
All right, so let's move on to Kevin's top 5 for the day. And in honor of our new character that's been spoiled with all about the safe keyword, we decided to bring out the top 5 reversals currently in standard. So fifth place was actually the most contentious, I think. There were a lot of cards. We found 4 that we were pretty happy with pretty much right off the bat, and the fifth one was, it was a lot of harumphing, but we settled on number 5, Rolling Cutter.
Oh, you did settle on Rolling Cutter.
Yeah, I know this is one of your favorite cards. Why don't you talk through Rolling Cutter a little bit?
I mean, Rolling Cutter, I think is absolutely amazing. I don't have it in front of me, but I pretty much know what it does. It's 4 difficulty, 3 control check, has a block plus 2 or 3 mid, maybe?
3 mid, yeah.
It's a reversal, it's a weapon, so it kind of does a whole bunch of modes for us.
Yep.
It has 2 abilities on it. In fact, give me just a second. I'm going to bring it up because I don't want to.
Here, I'll read it to you. So if it goes to your momentum this turn, you add it face up as an enhance, and then as a response, add it back to your hand so it recurs itself on its own. After your opponent plays an ability that grants a speed bonus, cancel the effect, and it's only playable while it's face up in your momentum. So once you land one of these babies, your opponent's going to be in a real tight spot if they want to play any abilities that grant speed bonuses, even if that's not the main reason you're playing it. I think I've played a game before where I had a rolling uppercut in my momentum, and my opponent had lethal damage if they could activate Prototype, but I could cancel Prototype to give it 6 less damage, even though I didn't care about it, even though I wouldn't be able to block it because it would be already at unblockable speed.
I remember one time I made a Lord Raptor player pretty upset because I had 2 of these face up in my momentum.
Oh man, this card's so great against Raptor.
Yeah, saved me a whole bunch of headache that turn. Because he responded because he reviewed a foundation, and I'm like, well, no, sir. He's like, oh crap, that sucks. And then he played an Ultimate Undead.
Excuse me.
Did its E, and then on his next attack went to review again. I'm like, no, sir, no, thank you.
No speed pumps.
And no speed pumps for you. And then I was able to reverse him later on, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, so rolling uppercut it really exemplifies what makes a good reversal, where it doesn't just end the game on the spot. It doesn't say block or die, but being a reversal lets you sneak it in and really kind of get the incremental value of cutting off your opponent's options and making it easier to block in the future.
Yeah, and a lot of times when I play this card, a lot of people block it because speed later on sometimes makes all the difference. We get into the mid-long game.
Yeah, having a rolling uppercut in your momentum is a huge asset, and so defending yourself against that can be a really key thing to do. And once your opponent's blocking your reversals, now you're setting yourself up in a really good way for your own backswing attack once it goes back to your turn.
You know what's a huge asset that's really good with rolling cutter rather? Hanya.
Hanyers? Yeah. Hanya is just disgusting with rolling uppercut, especially if you tank the first hit, then you block and reversal rolling uppercut on the second hit, and now you ready your Hanya, and then if they don't block your rolling uppercut with +1 to their block modifier and maybe 2 attacks in their card pool, they're going to have to deal with the second Hanya activation coming up right there.
So what's number 4, Kevin Broberg?
All right, number 4 is Skull Barrier. It's one of the few reversals that only has the reversal keyword. And also isn't often played using the reversal keyword because its own ability allows you to play it as a reversal. So Skull Barrier, it's I suppose it's kind of the opposite of rolling uppercut in a lot of ways. It's not a reversal that really makes your opponent think about blocking it. It's just a very excellent defensive card that has an important role as a reversal. One character that does take advantage of it really well. By the way, if you're not familiar with Skull Barrier, if you have 2 momentum with your +0 mid block Skull Barrier, after you put this into your card pool, it's got an ability from your card pool that allows you to remove it from the game and discard 2 momentum to completely cancel one of your opponent's attacks. So after they play it, you discard it from their card pool, at which point it becomes what's called dropped attack, and it doesn't even begin the enhanced step.
And don't forget, Skull Barrier, after you block with it, can also be played as a reversal.
Yep, so once you block with it, it just has its own ability, play itself as a reversal. All for only a 2 difficulty card with an excellent +0 mid block. You only get a 0 mid for 3 damage out of it, but that 3 damage can add up. And there's one character, especially, who loves Skull Barrier, Lilith. If you don't block her 2 or 3 speed Skull Barriers, she can pick up that +0 mid block to use on your next attack too.
Good times, fun times.
All right, so moving on up, the number 3 reversal is Kersplat, and at this point, I think almost everyone knows what Kersplat does. Kersplat's just a really excellent card for mitigating the next progressive difficulty of your next attack, gaining a little bit of vitality and giving your opponent a headache. That way, blocking with Templar and then reversing with Kersplat can really screw up the math on your opponent's kill turn, as well as getting a little bit of damage through. I just noticed the sunglasses falling off the guy's face. That's amazing. And what I really love about Kersplat is it's the shared resource symbols with all in life. I think Kersplat is probably the best card at wearing, or the card we most frequently pair with Quick and Precise and Student of the Grand Chronicle and Young Mercenary, which are all basically just foundations that let you commit your opponent, that during your attack, either give it stun 1 or otherwise commit your opponent's foundations on the reversal. And so you add to the life gain disruption, screwing with their math. You also just screw with their staging area at the same time, and really help set up your own backswing wins.
Yeah, I love Kersplat. I think it's probably one of the most well-designed reversals we've ever had in the history of UFS.
Yeah, it's super fair and balanced, and yeah, it's so powerful.
Yeah, I think it's just another example, like the last 2 reversals, that they're not reversals that just make you lose on the spot, which I think the one that does that is coming up pretty shortly.
Yep. One card attack that can make you lose on the spot, which is probably the most underplayed reversal on this whole list, I think, is our number 2 slot, is Crescent Moonhook. So Crescent Moonhook when you play it as a reversal, it's really, I think part of the reason it's underplayed so much is that it is actually a very good anti-momentum technology. As soon as you play it, your opponent discards a momentum, which is really not something that a lot of these symbols necessarily have available to them, and not for just a 4 difficulty attack. You also get a 3 speed mid for 3, which is perfectly solid stats. But if you do play it as a reversal, you can first see to turn it face down and become a copy of any attack in your opponent's card pool. And so you can have... Have you recently resolved a Crescent Moonhook?
No, I've recently had Crescent Moonhooks resolved against me.
How did that go?
They turned into spinning necro drivers.
Oh my!
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, not spinning necro drivers. Death Valley face plants.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Nothing quite like getting stunned on your own turn.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah.
And, I mean, don't forget Crescent Moonhook. I believe also can get played with the couple of those cards we just mentioned with Kersplat.
It can. You can use it with Young Mercenary, but that's really about all.
Okay.
Student of the Grand Chronicle and Quick and Precise don't. Actually, Quick and Precise has fire as well. So yeah, if you're playing a fire deck, yeah, you can load up the Quick and Precise plus Young Mercenary combo, and maybe even reversal with a Chasm Buster or a Hyper Bomb is really one of the best dreams out there with this kind of card. Any 6 difficulty attacks are absolutely incredible to reverse with. And so it can be extremely devastating. One of the coolest decks I've seen with this is actually a dual symbol Kula deck that plays this Neo Freeze Execution and some more cards on this list with a Water Foundation base, and then it just drops devastating reversals while canceling your enhances with Kula's ability.
Fun times.
All right, so Crescent Moonhook, super fun card, super powerful in the right circumstances. It takes a lot of kind of finesse to play perfectly. The number one card often does not take very much finesse. It's about a lot of counting and figuring out if your opponent can play things perfectly to prevent themselves from dying, and often not being able to do it, stop it. It is Nivos, everyone's favorite.
Oh, look, it's a kick with air. Amazing. I wonder who's really good at using it.
Jiffy Jamber, actually. So what Nivos really rewards you for is just having more staging area than your opponent, because every enhance you play, your opponent you get +1 damage on you. Every enhance you play that your opponent can't match with their own enhance, you get +1 damage. So you build your deck full of free enhances, you just add up damage really quickly, and reversal Nivoses, especially if you stack up some speed pumps on them. We talked about with rolling uppercut, or rolling cutter rather, how it doesn't run into the situation where you do this really boring math to say block or die, and then your opponent has to either block or die. But Nivos can easily stack up to the point where even a 20 vitality character, even a 6 hand size, who hasn't taken many hits, can get one shot by a Nivos. Um, it's just an incredibly powerful card, and on top of that, it's got Desperation 3, so it's even a pretty potent offensive tool. There's several characters that give it free speed pumps as well to really top it off.
I think that's a pretty solid top five. I remember before the show we were having a lot of difficulty for choosing the number five slot. Did you have any honorable mentions that we kind of cut
Oh man, so
for
honorable
Rolling Cutter?
mentions. I don't have the UFS Ultra search I had up earlier, but honorable mentions certainly include Cossack Buster is another very solid reversal you see in a lot of all decks. It's great at stacking Heroes Trainings or Artifice Avarices on top of your deck, as well as wearing the cards we mentioned, Pursuit of the Grand Chronicle and Quick and Precise, those pumps. Um, Aerial Ring Boomerang is a really key card for Gutsman sometimes, as well as just anyone who has some draw effects that might be able to recur it. And again, dual symbol, all life, plus also it has evil for Gutsman if you want to play evil Gutsman.
I have an
Whereas
honorable mention
Sun
I'd like to
Pumps,
bring up real quick.
absolutely,
Two of them. Spider Suplex. That's a
yeah.
great reversal.
The,
Desperation 4. You gain 3 vitality just for playing it. I think it's a fair 2 check. It's a 3 mid for 6 throw and has Earth on it. Earth does not have problems piling on the damage.
Yeah, it
Um,
makes Earth quite difficult to kill, gaining an extra 3 life. Everything we said about Kersplat goes double for Spider Suplex because it gains even more life, and you
mhm.
can't stop it from gaining the life either. It's just unconditional right now, gain 3.
My other honorable mention is Etoile Filante.
Oh, that card's seen so little play recently, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You know, ripping one of your opponent's foundations right out of the game. Super duper good. It's got a decent block, even though it's only a 5 mid for 3, and your opponent might be tempted to just take it. The discard momentum, if it deals damage, removing your opponent's foundation from the game is really, really good.
yeah, that staging area control can be absolutely huge. And 5 speed, even though it is a mid, and we talk about how easy it is to block mid attacks, 5 speed makes it pretty tricky, and you also have at least one progressive difficulty. And if you can, it's mission accomplished if you can disrupt your opponent's turn with reversals. And a Toile almost always gets disruptive.
Hmm.
I have one last honorable mention. Is a pretty boring card, but in a lot of ways. But it's Hien Hao or Hao Hiten Kyaku. No, Hien Shippu Kyaku. Sorry, it's Robert Kick Jr. Just a nice little 4 high for 4. Doesn't do very. It's pretty much. It's almost a complete vanilla attack when you play it as a form. But as a reversal, it has a bunch of nice effects. You get to draw a card, and also your next block gets Breaker 1. It's got an excellent +2 high block, and I feel like it's one of the unsung heroes of a lot of air kick stacks. Just getting in for some good damage when the getting's good on reversals, and playing good defense, being a solid role player on offense. It's a card. It's a card that's grown closer and closer to my heart. A lot of people don't like it, but it's
I do have one. I'm sorry, one more
we.
honorable mention. This is
Sean
a
and I both
reversal
love
that's
our reversals, honestly. So
And this is a reversal I think a lot of people don't even remember is a reversal, and that's Flash Lightning.
Oh, good
I
lord,
think a
Flash Lightning.
lot of
Yeah.
people forget that that's a reversal, and it's an annoying card to deal with. You know, if it's blocked, it's going to your momentum after. Well, if it's blocked, you're going into your momentum. So it's a reversal that clears itself from the card pool if it's blocked. If it's not blocked, you're going to get momentum anyhow.
Yep.
And
And
it's a one difficulty reversal.
and if you were so inclined in your this is zero speed mid, so maybe this isn't the best plan on pure offense. But it does wear quick and precise buffs. It does wear uh, young mercenary. It lets you commit your opponent's staging area, and if you can add exactly +1 damage to it, you can even use robot masters on it to get an additional stun out of it. So that can be quite disruptive on reversals.
You know,
Um,
Kevin Broberg, you could also block a low attack with this and reversal with Crescent Moonhook, and it gets -1 difficulty.
Oh Lord, 4 difficulty Crescent Moonhooks. What a bargain. Although if that low attack is Snake Slam, I know not many people play that, but that is a very bad play. In fact, it's illegal. You'll get a game loss. Well, you might, depending on exactly what happens during that Crescent Moonhook reversal.
Depends on who your judges.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alrighty, I think we're actually running a little over tonight. Let's talk about some upcoming events and call it a show. Let's see, upcoming events. We've got the Amsterdam PTC, August 27th to 28th at Professor Bond's Emporium. Remember, for everybody going to that event, you cannot use your shiny new Battle for Power cards because Jascode hates fun. Or they want people to have access to the cards, so it's fair. I'm going to say they hate fun.
You can
After
use
that,
them in casual games and side events and whatever during that event.
and you also still
Well,
get to use your
pending side
Red
events.
Horizon cards.
Yep. Go like any.
Uh,
Say goodbye to
but
Go Like Any Other. That is your last chance.
well, those cards are going to be riding off into the sunset.
Let's focus on our objective, Sean. We gotta know your objective for the rest of this show. We're running over.
Well, you know, I need to harness some chaos. No, that card's not illegal.
Sean, this
Abilene
you're
P-
not winning this pun showdown, okay?
Oh, well, I will use a valiant assault of good. No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
done.
yeah. Get out of here.
Abilene PTC, September 10th through 11th at Rick's Collectibles in Abilene, Texas. For those of you inclined to go, Kevin Broberg, we know you're going to Amsterdam. You're going to Abilene.
I do not have any plans to do such a thing at this time. Unfortunately,
Me either.
I'd love to. I'd love to travel to more events and play more. Play in the first event with the Battle for Power legal, but I will not be participating in that Battle for Power. I'm saving my dark lasers and such for later.
Let's see. We've got the
Get Navos
Warren
off the screen.
PTC, September 24th to 25th at Eternal Games in Warren, Michigan. That's where our friend Jeremy Ray with his Busted Foundation lives. Slam lives there. It's gonna be a good time. They usually have Whirly Ball, so I'm excited for that.
Hot
I
dog
know I'll
eating
be traveling to
contest.
that. Kevin Broberg, will you be going to Warren?
Oh, I certainly plan on it. And you mentioned Jeremy Ray and the Michigan Pro Tour. I just remembered a combo that's not going to be legal for very long. If you play Partners in Crime Fighting, you can pay for the cost of double tap with that, and it gets to ready itself. That's a combo. That's a card he used in his Melee deck last year to win.
Let's see. After that, October 8th to 9th is the Santa Clara PTC at Game Castle in Santa Clara, California. Kevin, you going to California?
Hmm. I was just about to say I've always really loved the deck lists that get posted there. They always have some really fascinating ideas, but I don't know if I feel like I probably shouldn't. It is I'm going to be doing quite a bit of traveling in the next couple events on this calendar, so I think I'm probably going to pass on that one.
All right. Following that is U.S. Nationals in Atlanta,
Woohoo!
Georgia. And I have some bad news for my adoring public. I found out this week that I will be unable to attend the event. Unfortunately, those of us who have big boy adult jobs, turns out you got to get your vacation time in early, and everybody else beat me to it because I couldn't take my vacation until like a week ago.
Yeah, this
So,
one random weekend in the middle of October got piled on by everyone else at Sean's office.
so I will not be going. Good luck to Kevin Broberg, who has to go and win everything for me so we can get more Rochester cards. And that's all I got on the schedule. I believe there's a PTC the week following that. or 2 weeks following that in Rockford. So the fall
That's
schedule
right
will
on the
be pretty.
schedule.
It's not. You didn't put in the schedule.
Rockford PTC is on November 5th and 6th at Top Cut Comics in Rockford, Illinois. I plan to attend this event and say hi to Chris Smith again and have some pizza cake. You should come join us. It's a great time and the food there is amazing.
This event actually has a stronger possibility for me going. My birthday's earlier that week, so I might take a couple days off and go and see my friends in Chicagoland. And not Chicagoland, because Rockford's nowhere near Chicago.
it's it
You're
I
kind of
mean
like everyone thinks you're from New York. They assume you're from the city.
yeah, I mean my game plan is to fly into O'Hare and then drive the rest of the way and it's just a couple hours, whatever.
But I think that's going to wrap it up for everyone tonight. I don't think there's too much more to report on. Hopefully, we're going to be getting some more spoilers soon. Don't forget to get your pre-orders in at rochesterccg.com. Remember, we've got booster boxes available for $72 and the pre-release kit for $576, which is 8 booster boxes, 4 playmats, poster, and promos. Great price.
It's a great
And
deal.
so
It's the best deal.
I think it's a great deal. So we'll see everybody next week. Good night.
All right, bye everybody.